Now that we have our fondant made, we can get into different fondant techniques. Now, there's a lot of things you can do with fondant, like I was saying earlier. You can roll it out, which I'll show you. You can also make things like flowers or designs like this. And that comes with, you can use lots of tools like this you can find at your convenience store like Walmart, Target. You can also find things like this, different molds. Other things are you can just use a regular butter knife or a sharp knife. And a lot of fondant is using your hands, so these are going to be your best tools. What I have here is what's called a flower pouch or a powder fondant pouch. This has powdered sugar inside. So as I'm working with it, it's important to keep your fondant from getting sticky. So I've got this set aside. If you don't have this, if you have a pair of tights, you can put powdered sugar inside tights. Otherwise, you can just put powdered sugar down on your table to make sure it doesn't stick. So I'm gonna start by splitting off a little chunk of this, and I'm gonna show you how to use something like a form. So I'm gonna show you how to make a flower. Like I was saying earlier, it's important that it doesn't stick, so I'm gonna start by making sure that that is nice and powdered, and then I'm gonna take my fondant, I'm just gonna push it in my mold. You can see right away, it's already made a flower. You can also see that it's getting a little sticky, so I might have to add a little more powder, but I can take some away, put more in my mold, and get another flower. Fondant is just like Play-Doh, so if I didn't like that flower, I can just put it back, squish it up, and try again. Another thing fondant is used for is rolling out. So I can take my powder, get a nice powdered surface, and I can put my fondant down. I can then get a rolling pin and roll it nice and flat. I can then take this fondant and I can cut shapes out. I can use a cookie cutter to cut out flat shapes, or I can take my fondant and cover my cake with it. Covering a cake with fondant takes a lot of work. You need a lot of fondant to do that, and it's very hard. So to start out, I would recommend making little shapes. You can make little figurines. I'll give you a little example. This is one of the easiest things you can make with fondant. Now you've got a snowman to put on top of your cake. Fondant, like I said, is just like Play-Doh. You can also use it to make flowers. You can get molds for this, or you can just eyeball it, but you can roll out petals either with your hands, with a rolling pin. You can make all of your fondant pieces into petals. You can wrap them around a base. You can see I'm slowly building my rose here. This can be done more technically with special rose petal cutters. It can also be done in one long line. And there's lots of different tutorials online on how to make fondant flowers. But you can also just do it based off how you think it should look. And like I was saying, fondant is just like Play-Doh. So if you make something, you don't like the way it turns out, you can just start again. One very important thing about fondant is that when it sits out, it hardens. So if I am working with this much fondant, I'm gonna take this and wrap it in plastic. Now, if you have any shortening left over from when you're making your buttercream, something you can do if this is gonna be stored for a long period of time is take a little bit of that shortening on your hands and rub it all around your fondant. That's gonna give it a nice barrier to keep this from drying out. If I let this little snowman sit out overnight, by tomorrow it is going to be hard. Now there's pros and cons to this. The nice part is, if that is hard and sitting out, you can get all of your decorations made and prepped for your cake. So if you have all of your decorations, you've got all of your flowers, all of your leaves, all of your snowmen, or anything like that, you can have them all ready to go. So that way, when you go further down the line to your cake, you have all of your fun decorations ready to go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some decorations to put on our cake, and we'll use them after we frost them. So I'm just gonna make a few more flowers, just a bunch of little things.